Hey gorgeous, welcome. March is here and I am so excited for this month. Not only is spring is arriving officially on this month, but also there is a lot of things going on indoors and outdoors. I made a list so that I don't forget to talk about everything that I want to talk about. Let me talk a little bit about seeds. I am going to be studying a bunch of seeds this month for my garden, but also for the seedling sale. If you haven't heard, I am going to be preparing for a seedling sale or a plant sale that is going to be happening possibly at the end of April. I still have not decided. It's just going to be kind of like outside on a table, kind of like a garage sale, but instead of selling everything that I don't need, I am going to be selling plants. So it's going to be a lot of fun, I think. And I have been preparing. I already started a couple of things. I already have a few things growing back there for the sale. I have oregano, I have lemongrass, peppers, 2 types of peppers, and coleus. I actually just show you on a video how I started all of those coleus. And I have beautiful seeds already germinating. I am so excited. Starting things for your home garden is one thing. I mean, if they fail, they fail. But if you prepare for a seedling and your seeds are not germinating, then it could be a little bit of a worry. But everything is going to the plan so far. Fingers crossed that I have a lot of people and actually don't end up with the tons of seedlings at home. But this month, March, I am planning to start for the seedling and also for myself. I am going to plant tomatoes. I have a few varieties for the seedling: basil, cucamelons, amaranth, cosmos, marigolds, and nasturtiums. All of us are going to be for the sale, and obviously I'm going to start a bunch for myself. Some of these, like tomatoes and basil, are going to be started a little bit more towards the middle of March for my son here. And the rest that I mentioned are going to be more like towards the end of the month. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to try to show you as much as possible on video. So if you're new here, and if you want to see how my seedling sale goes, or you just want to start a few seeds with me, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and welcome. And as far as starting seeds, I am also going to be starting a bunch of flowers because I am going to be selling flowers this year at a roadside stand. And I am starting a bunch of things. I am going to be starting lots of cosmos. I am going to be starting marigolds. I have this idea that I am going to have this huge area with a lot of marigolds. The marigolds are not necessarily going to be for selling, but I have this idea every fall, and I don't prepare well in advance. But every fall, I want to make something for Dia de los Muertos, sort of like an arch in front of the house. And I'm going to need a lot of marigolds. And I feel like around that time, marigolds, around end of October, marigold flowers are like super pricey around here. So I am going to grow as many as I can for what I need. And if I have extras, I'll just sell them. But that's something that I have been wanting to do. And honestly, if I have extras, I'll probably just give them to my mom because she will just love them. So as far as seeds goes, everything that is warm, loving, that I am able to take out at the end of April, beginning of May here in central Indiana, is going to be started in March. There's some things that I don't need to start this early, like zinnias or sunflowers. I am going to be starting a bunch of those from seed, probably about 2-3 weeks max before I'm able to take them outside. So those are not going to happen until probably the middle of April or so, but I'll try to keep you updated on that. Raised beds. I am almost done. Well, not quite done, but I am almost done setting up the raised beds, the new raised beds that I have in front of the garage. I have shown you a couple of videos on how that transformation is happening. I do have a lot of comments. I love it when you guys leave me comments on the videos about what you think of the new makeover, or just your thoughts in general. Some of the questions or some of the comments that I got on my latest video when I placed those raised beds in front of the garage was about the space between each raised bed, the path size. I do have to say, I thought really long about that one. Originally, I was thinking about putting 3 raised beds there, the same size, 30 inches wide, and just having really wide paths to be able to walk in between them. But the more I thought about it, I really don't need big paths. I really don't need that huge of a space. And for me, if I don't use that space, it's going to be wasted space. I don't live in a huge area. I don't have acres of property here. I have a very small city lot, and every little corner that I can use to the max, I am definitely going to be just taking advantage of that. So I decided to have very small spacing in between the beds, just enough for me to walk around comfortably. I know that you ideally want to have paths where you can, bring a wheelbarrow, bring your mower if you need to mow. I am not going to have grass growing in between those beds. I'm actually going to set it up, and that's probably going to happen this month. I am actually going to set it up so that I have some sort of wheat fabric or some sort of very thick cardboard, and I am going to mulch that space. The mulch that I'm planning to use is going to be like the big chunks of pine nuggets. I think that's what they're called. That's definitely going to be a weekend project for me. I am not worried about that right now. Right now I have those beds set up. I actually got the soil delivered and those beds are filled, but I had all of my kids help me one day, and they helped me and we did it like in an hour. It was super quick. We got it done, and right now as it is, the beds without mulch around them, without any other structure, they're good to go. They're ready for my cool flowers that I have hardening outside. And I do want to make a couple more things happening before I start planting things in there. So here in the next couple of days, I'm probably going to show you what I'm going to do next. But I do want to say, yes, I hear you. I thought about the same thing, the spacing between the raised beds, really, really hard. And honestly, I am willing to fail. I am not afraid to be here in a video at the end of the season and say, hey, that did not work. It was way too little of a space for me. I am going to take one bed out and I'm just going to spread the rest around. In my head, and this is just theory, in my head, I really don't need to have space for a mower, and I don't need the space to walk with a wheelbarrow. The raised beds are only 10 feet long, so I have access on each end. I have plenty of access for buckets, or if I need something else, I really don't need a huge space in between them. I am planning to use netting for the flowers, so hopefully, whatever I have growing in those raised beds can stay somewhat contained, but we'll see. We're just going to try it. If you're wondering about the soil that I got for my raised beds, if you're in central Indiana, I do get my soil, my raised bed soil from Indiana Mulch. No, they're not paying me. I just love their product. They have a mix called Mark's Mix, and that's the one that I have been getting for whenever I have a need to fill a lot of raised beds. So far, I have never had any problems with any disease or anything extra in that soil or anything really visible. I really love them, and if you are in the central Indiana, I believe they have a couple of locations. Indiana Mulch is where you want to look. This month, here in a couple of weeks, I have scheduled to receive a couple of trays from Farmer Bailey's, and I have a total of 3 trays. I have a tray of lisianthus, I have a tray of bupleurum, which this year actually I found out that I can successfully grow bupleurum from seed. You just have to prepare the seed a little bit, but next year I know I will not order those. The reason why I ordered bupleurum is because, one, I never had experience with growing them, and 2, from what I heard, people said that they're really hard to germinate, to grow from seed. So now that I know that I can grow them, definitely next year I am not going to order from them bupleurum. Bupleurum, that is. I am not going to order. I'm just going to grow it here from seed. And also I have a tray of purple kisses dahlia, and so excited. I am so excited for those trays. I am going to be doing a unboxing when I receive those, because this is my first time ordering from them, and I want to show you how they look like when you receive them, how they're packaged. You and I are going to experience it for the first time because, again, this is going to be new for me. This month, I am also going to be pruning my hydrangea hedge. It is definitely time for them to get pruned. I actually went outside earlier, and they're showing a little bit of sprouts here and there, a little bit of growth on the branches. So that's my clue that they need to be pruned. And that is a process that it definitely going to take me a whole day. Doesn't take me all day to prune them, but I do take breaks in between here and there, and I normally volunteer one of my kids to help me with all of the extra, to put them in the trash, and that's probably going to be a weekend project. So I I don't know that I'll show you that. I feel like for the last 3 or 4 years, I always make a video around this time of how I prune my hydrangea hedge. But if you're interested in seeing that, let me know in the comments and I'll make that happen. This month for us here in Central Indiana is also a good month for us to prune roses. Now, a good rule of thumb for how to know when to prune your roses is if you see a little bit of growth happening on the branches, it's time for you to prune them. I do have one David Aston rose in a container in my corten steel planter, and I did prune that one because it was showing signs that it was waking up, and 2, because I need to move that rose. I actually need to make that happen here in the next couple of days because it needs to be growing somewhere else. So before it gets too ahead of me with growing and waking up, I really need to move it. But if you're wondering about your own roses, go ahead and check them. See if they have any growth and any disease, any dead branches. You can definitely cut them up. I feel like roses are pretty forgiving when it comes to pruning. So I just go kind of heavy on mine, just like I do with my hydrangea hedge. And I never had any problems on them just not blooming for me. This is also a good month for you to check on your dahlia tubers. If you are not doing anything with your dahlia tubers as far as waking them up or taking any cuttings, go ahead and check them if they are in storage, because it is probably getting a little bit warmer outside by now, and you definitely don't want to miss any mold, any disease, or if they need a little bit of water, you can spray them a little bit. As some of you know, I had horrible luck this year again, losing a bunch of my tubers. And I knew that this could happen because I kept some of them outside in a unheated, detached garage. And I knew the risks were really, really high for me to lose them, and I did. But at least now I know that that is not a good place for me to keep those dahlias. So I already did order a bunch of tubers from different growers, and I actually ordered one from a wholesale. I am really not one to order wholesale anything, really. This is the first year that I am going kind of big on ordering plugs and also on ordering dahlia tubers. One type of dahlia, one set of 75 tubers. That's a lot. 75 tubers I have coming of one variety, and there were 2 reasons why I did that. One, because I lost a lot of tubers, so I needed tubers, and 2, they were cheap. Wholesale items are just cheap, and I don't need to have 75 tubers of that variety. So what I'm planning to do is I am going to go through them. I'm going to check them. Wholesale normally means that they are clumps. They're not going to show up like nice and well taken care of as the ones that you buy from the growers. So it's a huge risk that you take when you order wholesale. I'm talking about dahlia tubers because yes, they're cheap, but sometimes you pay what you get for. So I'm excited to see what experience I have with this wholesale order for dahlia tubers. I am going to show you that. They're actually showing up today. I don't think that I'm going to show you that video until probably next week or so. But stay tuned. Let me know if you have ordered dahlias wholesale, because I will be interested to know who you ordered from and what was your experience like. But also, if you have tubers that you want to wake so that you can have plants already kind of big. I mean, this is not a dahlia, but sometimes this is the size that I get my dahlias outside when they're ready to plant. If you want to do that with your own tubers that you save or with tubers that you got early from a grower, you can do that about 4 to 6 weeks before you're able to take them outside. So for me, I am going to start whatever tubers I have available. I am going to start them about the middle or towards the end of March. Depending on the condition of these wholesale tubers, I think that some of them I am going to start for the seedling sale as well. I think that people will like to have some potted dahlias that way, but I still haven't decided that because I don't have them in front of me yet. But if you want to wake up your own 4 to 6 weeks, it's a good time for you to do that. And I'm going to show a video on how to do that as well here when that happens. So stay tuned for that. Currently, I have most of my cool flowers hardening off outside. I think today is day 4 or day 5. and they're doing great. The conditions outside had been somewhat okay. It does scare me a little bit because my experience has always been that I grow everything indoors at one time, and then I take everything outside when it's nice and warm outside. But with cool flowers, obviously I don't have that luxury. I do have to take them out in the cool days so that they can harden up. And they are plants that love the cool weather, so I know they're going to be okay. It's just a little bit scary to be in 45, 50 degrees outside and you have to take your plants out there. And fingers crossed they will do really, really well. And so far they're doing amazing, so I cannot complain. I think this is all I have for you today. Let me know if you're liking these kind of videos where I talk about my plans for the month and the things that I have on the schedule for the garden. I will really appreciate if you leave me a comment below with any questions or any comments that you have. Thank you for being here, and I will see you on the next one.